Hello, everybody. This is Nick Nat Packer coming to you live from Virginia Beach, Virginia, with my video log for Vampire Diaries, Season 4, Episode 8. We will always have Bourbon Street. Never let it be said that this show wasn't a drama, because damn, this episode certainly had a lot of it. Side note right off the bat: no Jeremy, no Matt, no originals, no Klaus. We all knew that this was going to happen because this was firmly centered on the romantic triad: Elena, Damon, Stefan, and the Cirebon crap, and then Caroline, Tyler, hybrid issues. And of course we know, that Jeremy is staying away from Elena for obvious reasons. So, once again, I will attempt to keep this as personal opinion free as shipper-wise as possible, but there are certain scenes and revelations in this episode that can't not be talked about. Alright, if Delana shippers can have their personal opinions, I think that the Delana ones too can have them too. Sorry, Stelenas, like I said last week, deal with it. We have for 4 years. Move on. Anywho, the episode opens on Damon's room. Well, Damon's bed, really. Well, actually, the episode opens on Damon's face. On Damon himself, lying in bed asleep. It's the morning after the night before. Amazing. His room is bathed in sunlight, and for just one moment in time, all is right with the world. He actually looks like he has a smile on his face while he's sleeping, and it just warms the cockles of my heart. Seriously, it does, because Damon, more than anybody, deserves this happiness. After 140, 50 some odd years of heartbreak and pain, he deserves this. He seemed so relaxed right then that a team of blood-sucking Stelena shippers could be devouring him and he wouldn't even notice. It's that moment we all know so well, the morning after the night before. Elena is nowhere to be seen, and for a split second, Damon appears to panic, because, he's not used to this. Having the girl he loves actually in his bed with him. Oh my god. So, he's like, did I dream this? Is this even real? Fortunately, Elena shows up wearing one of Damon's shirts. Not the same shirt that he was wearing last night, because obviously the buttons were popped, so she wouldn't have been able to button it. Not that he doesn't have a massive amount of black button-down shirts. I think sometimes that's all he wears, other than long sleeve Henleys and short sleeve, really close crop t-shirts. Let's see. And she saunters over the bed and flops into bed. A sudden feeling of warmth overcomes me watching this scene, and I couldn't help but smile. The smile on my face at being able to finally, for once, see Damon happy. He assumes she left for school, but she says they still have 20 minutes to spare. Cue the hot and steamy. There's no doubt about it. Stelena scenes versus Delana scenes, no comparison. This chick actually drew blood. I'm serious. You know that couldn't have happened in a Stelena scene, because Stefan wouldn't have been able to deal with it. And also, the hotness requires a heartbeat, a pulse, and I don't think I ever saw that going on in a Stelena scene. It was kind of flatline. So, yeah, my bad. After they've finished, they make their way downstairs because Elena's about to be running late for school. Note: once again, this entire sweetly beautiful scene was interrupted by Caroline's non-stop bitching and Stefan's incessant whining. This is second time now. Second fucking time now that we can't enjoy one Delana moment without the two of them interjecting some kind of color commentary. Is this going to become like a thing now? Every time that they have an intimate moment, you're going to hear Caroline and Stefan going, really? Really? Because they didn't have all their moments that they wanted? Can we have some of ours? Apparently, it seems like if there's Delana intimacy at all, it must be interrupted and or fucked with, so that Delana shippers can't ever be completely satisfied. Seriously? And what the hell was that with the music playing over that first scene? Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. I'll admit, I've read the Twilight books, and yes, I've seen the films. I would not classify myself as a Twilight in the least, because that version of vampires is ridiculous. And if you want to play me for it, fine, whatever. But like I said, everyone is entitled to their personal opinions. But I'm sorry, vampires don't sparkle. Just saying. But that song playing over their intimacy, no, God, no. What the hell was that music all about? Holy God. Holy freaking God. Was that even necessary? I don't think so. Twilight is a completely different universe. And I think most, if not all of us, would prefer it be kept that way. But me, I had to keep repeating to myself, this is not Twilight. They will not sparkle. They will not sparkle. Oh, they will not sparkle. Damon and Elena are most definitely not Bella and Edward. At all. In any reality. Any reality. Please God, let that never happen again. So they're being casually flirty with each other, and Damon being all domestic with the bag and the doting on her. It was so sweet. I always knew Damon was romantic at heart. This whole scene was lovely, especially the little thing with the scarf and he pulls her in for the kiss. Oh. Would Stefan ever think of something like that? Probably not. He was being so very sweet. And in all honesty, I think what we saw was the true Damon. Open, without guard, happy, free. I don't think I've ever seen Damon so relaxed, so himself. And Elena, my God, this is the first time in 4 years I've seen her really just truly be Elena, not just uber clenching person who's whines and is completely annoying. You know how Stefan said that once you become a vampire, you truly come into yourself. And I think that Elena finally has. Now that she's calmed down and she's dealt with the transition properly, she has really started to come into herself. And if that comes from Damon being the magic pill, so to speak, fine. Because she is happier than I've ever seen her. This chick was walking on cloud 9. You know, she needs that happiness in her life. And for them to try to take it from her just because they don't like Damon is fucked up. So they debated a bit about whether or not to let Stefan in on their little sexcapade. As Elena thinks he should know so that it won't get thrown in his face later at the wrong time. Damon agrees that they should tell him. He's kind of nervous about it too because Stefan is his brother and he doesn't want to hurt him. But he wants to have one more day to enjoy each other in privacy. Just be a teensy-weensy bit selfish. He won't hurt anybody, just teensy-weensy bit selfish. Before all the judging begins. Elena reluctantly, see that? I said reluctantly, agrees. Meanwhile, back at Shea Forbes, Caroline and Stefan are griping. Discussing the sire bond predicament. Caroline says not to worry, that as soon as they can get the bond broken, Elena should go back to the way she was. Don't give up on her, yada, yada, yakety, yak, yak. She goes on to postulate that she wouldn't be surprised if Damon already knew about it and used it to his advantage. Hey, you know that scene later on where the hybrids kidnap Caroline and start breaking her bones to torture Tyler? Yeah, can I get in that line so I can break her face? Damon would never, ever take advantage of her like that. That is one thing he would never do, and for her to actually say that is ridiculous. I understand she has her own reasons for hating Damon because of what happened to her during season 1 and what he put her through. But if she can't see that he's totally changed since, and she's even acknowledged that he is a different person than he was. Because, hey, Stefan can do no wrong. He can rip people limb from limb and not give a shit. Seriously? Seriously? They don't even know for sure that this iron bond is real, and she's already, he's going to take advantage of her, blah, 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 blah. As much as Stefan is opposed to this whole Delana thing, even he finds it hard to believe that Damon would do something like that. At least he has half a brain. Caroline believes they should let Elena know immediately about the bond so that she'll be aware of Damon's influence over her. She even gets her phone and she starts to text. He's like, whoa, I don't need her finding this out like it's a piece of gossip. This is in high school. Thank you, Stefan, for having sense. In actuality, she was trying to call Tyler because he's like, next to Klaus, he's the authority on cider bonds. But Stefan wants to hold off until they're absolutely sure that the bond is real, because it'd be really fucked up if they were to say, hey, you've been cider bonded in, and it turns out that it wasn't real. Because once again, it's just physically impossible for anyone to love Damon, right? Because he's so bad. Caroline, get a grip. You're making eyes at the original badass. You have absolutely no room to freaking talk. None whatsoever. Stop projecting your own insecurities onto Elena and deal with your own problems. So a lot of people have been saying that she's projecting her issues with Tyler and Haley and her burgeoning whatever it is between her and Klaus by making life for Elena miserable because of Damon. And it does make a lot of sense. Another blogger said this earlier, and I'm inclined to agree. Caroline is all up Stefan's ass. This is true. She's not the new Lexi. She is worse. Because at least Lexi acknowledged Stefan's shortcomings. In Caroline's mind, Stefan has none. Ridiculous. Stefan arrives back at the boarding house just as Elena is opening the door to leave. Insert moment of awkwardness here. Damon and Elena are trying to act as absurdly normal as possible, as if they didn't just have a morning quickie. And Stefan is bordering on just barely being civil. He's actually kind of being nice about it, and I think this is more for Elena's sake. He tells Damon that they need to talk, just as Elena bids farewell for the day. Their conversation is stilted at best, but she tries to be as nice as she can. I mean, she doesn't want to hurt him. She does. A part of her will always love him, and she doesn't want, him to suffer. The brothers sit down to talk over some bourbon, and Stefan relates to Damon the theory that Elena is cider bonded to him. And of course, I'm sure all of you have seen that web clip. Damon thinks the whole idea is ludicrous and a load of crap, and Steph and Caroline are just upset that Elena is in a good place as a vampire because of him. Stefan explains that Elena couldn't drink anything other than blood straight from the vein because Damon said so. Remember, he said, she almost died to make you happy. He challenges Damon to tell Elena to drink from a blood bag and see what happens. If she rejects it, he'll be the first one to apologize. Yeah, right. I think even if she had rejected the blood, he wouldn't be apologizing. He'd just be like, you know what, fuck you both. Because either way, he was not getting what he wants. Damon agrees, albeit very reluctantly. He says to him, if she rejects this, which she will, your apology better be freaking epic. At the school, Elena shows up a bit late and runs into Caroline and Bonnie in the halls. Now, I heard somebody online saying this is supposed to be a walk of shame. Excuse me? Wrong? Whoever said this was supposed to be a walk of shame obviously had no idea what they were talking about. I've never seen Elena so vibrant and so happy. To take a cue from Damon, she's never seemed more alive. I swear the girl could not stop smiling. I mean, she was practically floating on cloud 9, literally. She wasn't even close to being that happy when she was with Stefan. I swear to God. Caroline makes some snarky comment on Elena's hasty updo, causing Elena to fidget about whether or not she might, bust her secret. Ooh, did I do something out of place? Caroline continues to go on and on about the evil that is Damon, with even Bonnie getting in on a little. And it gets to the point that Elena actually has to tell them both to back off. They apologize, though not very sincerely. And Elena asks if they have any plans for the evening. She wants them to come over for a girls' night since they haven't really spent much time together in a long while. And she's feeling good about herself finally, and she wants to share this with her friends, even though she's tired of them and their crap. Surprisingly enough, I gotta say, I've never really liked Bonnie much in this show, but I have to give her props because You would think she'd be the one exalting Damon's, I'm not going to say virtues, but all his issues. You'd think she'd be the one hating him more because of what happened with Grams and what happened with her mother, that he, turned her mother. You think if anyone has a reason to hate Damon, it's her. And she was actually, she was surprised that Elena was doing this, but she wasn't like surprised, she was like, you slept with him? What? But she wasn't angry, not like Caroline was. You would have thought she would have been more angry, but I don't know, maybe she's kind of changed as the seasons have gone on. I think she's learning to accept things more, especially after everything that's happened to her. Caroline asks if the boys will be all right with them partying at the boarding house, but Elena assures them that since she lives there now, it's her house too. Bonnie mentions that Professor McCreepy has been teaching her some new spells that might be fun to share. Apparently she's on a first name basis with him now. She calls him Shane. Side note, the girls do ask about Jeremy, and Elena says he's alright as far as she knows. Matt is taking good care of him. That was a little out of character, that you'd think she'd be a little more concerned about Jeremy's state of mind and what's going on with him, but they're like, hey, how's Jeremy? Is everything okay? Everything's cool. Jeremy okay? Oh, yeah. I believe so. I think she's so caught up in this romance with Damon that she's in such a cloud nine that she's not thinking of anything else. I don't think that her Sargon is overruling her, her feelings about her family. I think she's just so caught up with it's the rush of the first time. Everybody experiences it. Suddenly, Damon appears behind the girls, lurking in a nearby hallway. He's behind them, and Caroline and Bonnie can't see him. The only one that can see him is Elena, because she's standing in front of him. As Lena is the only one facing his direction, she's the only one that can see him. She quickly excuses herself and follows him as he ducks out of sight. They find an empty classroom, and though Elena is elated to see him, she's wondering just why he's there. Damon pulls out a blood bag and hands it over. He wants her to try it. She's confused. She knows she can only drink from the vein. Damon says the circumstances were a bit crazy and less than optimal when she first turned, so why don't you try it? Just for me. That's a good chance things might have changed. She looks away, but does drink as he asks, and it works. She manages to keep it down. Elena is thrilled that she won't have to hurt anybody anymore. But for Damon, this confirms his worst fears. And you can definitely see that in his face. The desire bond is real. The look in his eyes is just, it wrenches your heart. Because you know what he's thinking, that everything they shared, everything she felt, wasn't real. That he didn't just lose her, that he never had her to begin with. He looks devastated, but he manages to hide it well for her sake. At the mysterious barn in the undisclosed location, Tyler, Haley, and Kim are working on helping another hybrid named Adrian break his sire bond. I think he's one of the last that's left. I actually think he might be the last that is left. He's not doing very well, and he's in a tremendous amount of pain. Kim, the girl who they broke last week, thinks they should quit, but Tyler tells them this must be seen through to the end if they want to be free from Klaus. Kim obviously has some attachment to this particular hybrid. I couldn't tell if it was because she has a thing for this dude, or because he's a packmate or a friend, or just because she doesn't like Tyler. It seemed like she don't like Tyler all that much because she wasn't too receptive to getting her sire bond broken. I mean, she wanted it broken, but she gave them a bit of a hard time when it was her turn. And she bucks Tyler's authority by putting an end to the session. She takes Adrian and leaves while Tyler and Haley look on in disbelief. She's like, I thought that breaking that bond was about, not having to be loyal to anybody but ourselves, blah, 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 blah. And now it seems like you're controlling us. Oh, no, bitch. I think you just want to be alpha. You want to be in charge. Back at the boarding house, Stefan has been waiting for Damon to return with news about Elena and comes to find that Damon's already there, surrounded by textbooks and papers. It doesn't take a genius for Stefan to figure out that his suspicions have been confirmed. But ever the unaware of the painfully obvious, he asks anyway. So is it true? He asks Damon what he's looking at, and it turns out to be photographs of old New Orleans, circa 1942. Via flashback, we learn that Damon had been spending some time in the city, doing his own thing, kind of just chilling, when he met a woman named Charlotte. She was crazy about him and asked him to turn her, so he did. Oh yeah, she was crazy. Literally. Like, this chick was batshit crazy. Like, Fatal Attraction crazy. What he didn't realize was how crazy this woman really was. One night, while they're drinking at a bar at the local club, he gets up to see about acquiring dinner. She picks one of the members of the band he goes to snatch. He tells Charlotte to watch his drink. If anybody messes with it, he tells her to, well, basically respond with extreme prejudice. But I don't think he actually meant for her to kill someone, broad daylight. Some unknowing sailor happens to sit down next to her and accidentally spills Damon's drink. Charlotte gets so angry, she breaks the guy's neck without a second thought. Fortunately, Damon witnesses this and rushes over just before he drops dead to the floor to grab him up and prop him up so that he won't look like he's dead. Because if anything will out you as a murderer, hey, you just broke a guy's neck. It's then he realizes that she is bonded to him. He tells Stefan that he contacted a witch there to see about breaking the bond, and if they're lucky, she might still be there. Or maybe a relative might still be there. They decide to take a little trip. Later on in the day at the grill, Haley and Tyler are watching Kim and not broken hybrid guy play pool. Adrian play pool. This is just prior to this, Haley went over to pay a visit to Dr. Shane. She kind of broke in. She's searching his desk for something. He comes in and asks her what the hell she's doing there and why she didn't call him first. She tells him that they're having trouble breaking the last hybrid. They already have 11 broken, and the last guy will make 12. Shane says she promised to deliver 12 broken hybrids, and if she can't get the last one, then it's going to have to be Tyler. Haley says no way. She wants to keep Tyler out of it. Apparently, her romantic feelings towards him are genuine. It seems like she does have feelings for Tyler. She doesn't want him to get hurt, which tells me that these hybrids are not going to live. And by the end of the episode, you know for a fact that they're not going to live. As is her dislike for Caroline. Who would have thought it, right? Yeah, two girls fighting over the same guy. Shane pulls out a flash drive and dangles it before her like a carrot. Apparently, it contains information on Haley's biological parents. So the story that she told Tyler was only mostly full of shit. Not all full of shit. She promises to deliver him 12 hybrids, but Tyler is not to be involved. Professor McCreepy is so guilty, he's oozing evil on his pores at this point. As they watch the hybrids playing pool, Haley urges Tyler to stand up for himself. Kim is acting the way she is because she wants to be in control of the hybrids. She wants to be alpha. Tyler has got to assert control and show them who's boss before things get out of hand. Because I don't really think that the hybrids entirely know what class is capable of. Tyler goes over to Kim, and a bunch of alpha posturing ensues. Blah, 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 back and forth. He tells her to stand down and let them finish breaking Adrian. The other guy, Adrian doesn't seem to be too enthusiastic about that, and Kim doesn't believe that Tyler will wind up being any better than Klaus in the long run. She tries to stake him with the pool cue, but Tyler is faster and is able to anticipate her move.